morning, dear students. My name is Dr. Shuaib Mohammad Bhat. I am working as Assistant Professor in the Department of English at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. Today, in this video lecture, we shall be talking about degrees of comparison. One of the very fascinating topics today we are going to discuss is degrees of comparison. What are the different degrees of comparison? And before going through the comparison, before going with the degrees of comparison, we shall be discussing about adjectives. So let's start. All of you must have heard about adjective or adjectives. So when we talk about grammar, it's very essential and it's very important to talk about parts of speech. And when we talk about parts of speech, we know we have a list of 8 elements there, 8 grammatical components there, which includes noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb. We have conjunction, we have preposition, we have interjection. So these things, they come under the title parts of speech. And one of the elements, which is an important element there, is an adjective. So it's very important to know adjective first before we talk about the degrees of comparison. So when we talk about adjective, what adjectives are or what's an adjective, it's an essential parts of speech. One of the essential parts of speech. Among all other different parts, among all other different components, which are like noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, except adjective, we have conjunction, we have preposition, we have interjection. So among all these parts, adjective is one of the important elements, is one of the important components of parts of speech. And it provides us, what's its function? It provides additional information and context about the noun or pronoun. It gives us some extra information. As you all must know, adjectives, they are noun or pronoun describing words. We call them also the words which show us the quality of a noun or pronoun. So that's what I'm telling you in a very different way. So it provides us additional information and context about the noun or pronoun, such as it talks about its size, its shape, its color, its quantity, or other characteristics of nouns or pronouns. So when we talk about adjective or when we talk about adjectives, so we must know that these are the essential parts of speech, and adjectives, they provide us extra information and extra context about the noun or pronoun, such as they talk about the size, they give us the information of the size of noun or pronoun, shape, color, quantity, quality, or some other characteristics of a noun or pronoun. For example, I would like to quote an example here. We have a sentence, I saw a cat. I saw a cat is simple, it's simple and straightforward. But it doesn't tell much about the object of the sentence, the cat. See, we have a sentence here, the sentence is I saw a cat. So we have one pronoun here, that's I, and we have a noun here, that's cat. But there is not a single word which gives us some extra information about I, pronoun, or cat, noun. Nothing is there. So it is a very simple sentence and it is a very straightforward sentence, where we have the simple information. It asserts something. An assertive sentence is this. Assertive sentences are those sentences which assert something, which say something. And that something is neither a question, is not an exclamatory sentence, is not a wish. That's not like advice, like request, like order, command, but a simple statement. So we have a simple statement here. I saw a cat. Stay focused. We are talking about adjectives. I'll show you how an adjective gives us extra information about a noun or a pronoun. So we have a sentence, I saw a cat. There is not a single word which gives us some extra information about the pronoun I or noun cat. Is it there anything? No, there is not anything. You are right. There is nothing is there. No word is there which talks about which gives us some extra information about the noun or pronoun used in the sentence. Now, however, the sentence, now I have one more sentence, that is, I saw a small fluffy black cat. Now another sentence I gave. I saw a small fluffy black cat. Now this sentence, it paints a much clearer picture. Here you get a clear picture about the cat. In this sentence, you know only I saw a cat. You do not know what was the size of the cat, what was the texture of the cat, what was the color of the cat. You don't know these things. This sentence is not telling you that information. But now we have a sentence where it says, I saw a small, fluffy, black cat. This sentence, it gives you much clear information, more clearer information about the cat. Now you come to know that the cat is small, it's not big. You come to know this cat is fluffy. You come to know this cat is black in color. So this is due to the addition of adjectives. Now these are the words small, black, fluffy. These words, they give us some extra information about cat. And cat grammatically is noun. So a word which gives us some extra information about noun. A word which describes a noun, which makes us aware about some other characteristics of a noun used in a sentence, that word is called adjective, or those words are called adjectives. Now you can clearly say that small, fluffy and black, these are adjectives. Why are these three words adjectives? Because these three words, they give us some extra information about noun. And according to grammar, when any word gives us some extra information about noun, that word or those words are called as adjectives. So these adjectives, fluffy, black and small, they describe the size, it's small. Fluffy, they describe the texture of the cat. Color of the cat is described by black. So we get to know about three things, about the size, about the texture, about the size, about the texture, and about the color of the cat by these three words. So these three words in grammar are called adjectives. I hope you all have understood what's an adjective. Adjective is a word which describes a noun or a pronoun that I discussed with you. Now, let's talk about degrees of comparison. What is this degree of comparison? It is possible to change the degree of comparison of an adjective or adverb in a sentence without changing the meaning of the sentence. It's possible that we can change the degree of comparison of an adjective or an adverb in a sentence without changing the meaning of the sentence. So it means if we change the degree of comparison of an adjective, for example, we have an adjective tall. If we change its degree, like if we make it taller, or if we make it the tallest, so it is possible to change the degree of comparison of an adjective in a sentence without changing the meaning of the sentence. It is possible. We can change the degree of comparison of an adjective without changing the meaning of the sentence. Now, this comparison can be made using three forms of the adjectives. Comparison can be made. We can make comparison by using three forms of adjectives. What are the three forms? The first form is positive, second is comparative, third is superlative. Three forms of adjectives can be used to change the degree or degrees. Three forms of adjectives can be used to change the degree of these adjectives. These three forms are positive form, comparative form, superlative form. Let's see, let's discuss what these three forms are and how we can change the degree of comparison. Let's first talk about positive degree. The positive degree of an adjective in comparison is the adjective in its simplest form. The positive degree of an adjective in comparison. When we talk about adjectives in comparison, and when we talk about the first this degree or the first form of adjective, that's positive form. So positive degree of an adjective in comparison is the adjective in its simplest form. When we have the adjective in its simplest form means first form. Like the adjective small, comparative is smaller, superlative is smallest. So adjective in its simplest form is when it is in its first form, that's small. It is used to denote that mere existence of some quality what we speak about. Where can we use the positive form? Where can we use the positive degree? To denote the mere existence of some quality. It denotes the existence of some quality. For example, if I tell you, I have a small chair. I have a small chair. This small here, it talks about the mere existence of that chair. It's not comparing the chair with some other chairs. It's not comparing this object with other objects. It's not telling you about its superiority, about the superiority of the chair. No. To speak about, like, I would like to quote this example. It's a tall building. The word tall, it talks about the mere existence of that building. It's tall. So it's not said to you it's taller than other building. When I speak like it's a tall building, so that means I'm telling you the mere existence of this building. You get to know, yes, it's tall. But I'm not telling you it's taller than some other building. I'm not telling you it is the tallest of all the buildings in the area. So mere existence I'm telling you. But if I tell you it's taller than other buildings, that means I am making comparison with other buildings. So it's not now only its mere existence, rather I am comparing this building with others. So positive form of an adjective or positive degree, it denotes mere existence of some quality of what we speak about, like we speak about building here. So it's used with when no comparison is made. As I told you, tall cannot show any comparison, or adjective in its simplest form cannot show any comparison. Rather, it shows mere existence of that object, that person, that thing, of what we speak about. Like the example is, apple is sweet to taste. Apple, it's sweet. It is mere existence of apple. I talk about some quality of apple. But I'm not telling you apple is sweeter than mango or than pear. No, I'm not telling you that. Then, Sarah is a nice girl. The quality of Sarah, nice. I'm not telling you nicer. I'm not telling you like that. So no comparison is made with the base form of adjective with the simple or positive form of adjective. Rather, we use adjectives when no comparison is made. They show us the mere existence of some quality of what we speak about. Then, we have the second form, that's comparative form. Comparative form. What's comparative form? The comparative degree denotes the existence of a higher degree of quality than the positive. Positive degree, it shows the mere existence of some quality. Now, comparative degree, it shows the existence of a higher degree of quality than positive. Now, it shows the higher degree than positive. It's not that positive now. Now it shows higher than positive. So it's comparative. Now comparison is made. See, it's used when two things, objects, places, persons, ideas, or sets of things, sets of ideas, group of people are compared. So as I told you, what was the case with the positive degree? In positive degree, no comparison is made. Positives are not used for positive degrees are not used for comparison. Rather, comparative degrees, they are used for comparison. So it's used when two things, objects, so on and so forth are compared. For example, this building is taller than any other building. Now again the same sentence. When I say or if I speak like this, this is a tall, building. The adjective tall is not showing us any comparison. No comparison can be shown by the word tall. Why? Because this tall here is the adjective in its simplest form. When adjective is used in simplest form, it doesn't show any comparison. Now here, see, this building is taller than any other building. What is the difference between these two sentences? This sentence again tells us that this building is tall, but right now it tells us it is taller than any other building. Means all the other buildings which are present there, this one is taller than them all. So again, as I told you when we use in the first slide, there are chances that it's possible we can change the form of adjectives without changing the meaning of the sentence. This taller has not changed the meaning. It has given extra information. Now we come to know, yes, it is tall but taller than others. This form tells us it is tall. There can be some other building as tall like this or more taller than this. But here, or taller than this. But here, this sentence tells us, yes, comparison is made between this building and rest of the buildings. Now again, I gave you the example, apple is sweet to taste. Sweet, base form of adjective, which talks about the mere existence of the quality of the thing which we are discussing. Now here it is, apple is sweeter than pear. We come to know here again that apple is sweet, but here a comparison is made between apple and pear. So this is how we can use the comparative form. Second form is used comparative. The first form is tall, comparative is taller, superlative is tallest. Sweet, sweeter, sweetest. Nice, nicer, nicest. Sarah is nicer than most other girls in class. Again we come to know that Sarah is nice. But here we got an extra information that she is nicer among other girls in the class. So we have in all the three sentences, we have the comparative form of adjective. We come to know comparative form of adjective is used to make a comparison between two people, two things, two objects or two or more objects, a set of people, a group of people, a set of things, a set of ideas. Like this we make comparison with the help of comparative degree of adjective. That is the second one, second degree. Then the comparative degree of an adjective, I would like to just elaborate it little more. Otherwise, I know that this slide is enough to get the idea. But little bit I want to just elaborate it. Comparative degree of adjectives is a form of an adjective used to compare two things. Comparative degree of an adjective is used to compare between two things, two persons, two objects, two ideas, or two or more things, two or more ideas. It indicates that one thing has more or less of a particular quality. When we compare two things, we show that one among them has either more or less of a particular quality. If I tell you Rahul is better than other boys, means he is a better option. If I tell you another sentence, Rahul is worse than other boys. So I talk about the positives and the negatives. That's what I mean. It indicates, comparative degree indicates what? More or less of a particular quality or characteristic than the other being compared. It shows us how a person is having one quality more or less than the other person which is being compared in that sentence. To form the comparative degree, we generally add ER for the to the end of a one syllable adjective or more to the adjective or use more plus the adjective for adjectives with two or more syllables. If we have an adjective which has one syllable in it, monosyllabic adjective, how can we make its comparative form? By adding ER. If we have an adjective having two syllables or more than two syllables, we add more before that adjective. And then the word than is generally used. After this second form, we generally use the word than. So sentence formation in this degree, how can we form a sentence? Like, first we require noun or pronoun, that is a subject. Then we require noun, means what subject is doing. Then we require comparative degree, comparative adjective. Then it's than, then it's at the end object. This is how we can make sentence, how we can form sentence by using comparative degree. Now we have the last one, that's superlative degree. What is superlative degree? This is the last one, superlative. The superlative degree denotes the existence of the highest degree of the quality. Positive, that denotes, that simply shows mere existence, simplest. Comparative, that shows higher than the simplest, higher than the positive. Superlative, it shows the existence of the highest degree. First it was simple, mere existence, then it was higher degree of the quality, now it is highest degree of the quality. And it is used when more than two things, objects, places, persons, ideas are compared. When we make comparison between more than two people, more than two things, more than two objects. So for that we use, for comparative degree, please, comparative degree, we make the comparison between two objects, between two things, between two ideas, so on and so forth. But for the superlative degree, it's used to make the comparison. It's used when more than two things, objects, persons, places, ideas are compared. For example, this is the tallest building. Tallest building. When I speak tallest building, I do not mean this is taller than this building. I mean this is tallest than all other buildings. Because tallest itself means that this is ultimate. Tallest means there is no building more taller or taller than this now. So when I speak apple is the sweetest fruit, I mean it is sweetest among all other fruits. So now the comparison is not between pear and apple. It is the comparison with all other fruits. And when I say Sarah is the nicest girl in the class, that means she is nicest among all the girls. Now there is no comparison between Sarah and Tara, or Sarah and some other girl. If I wrote she is the nicest, that means she is the nicest among all other girls who are in the class. This is how we can use the superlative degree. I would further like to just elaborate it. When comparing more than two nouns, pronouns, the degree is said to be superlative. When we compare two nouns, more than two nouns or more than two pronouns, the degree which we are expected to use, the degree which we are bound to use, that is superlative degree. And the article the is placed before the superlative adjective. When we are using the superlative adjective like tallest, like worst, like best, so before the superlative degree, article the has to be used there. It will again just help you to know about articles. We have this article, definite article the. There are a lot of uses where to use the, like we use it before the names of newspapers, before directions, before the names of rivers, before the names of oceans, before the names of mountains, before the names of islands, before the names of newspapers. But we use it before the superlative degree, superlative adjectives, the. So wherever you are using the superlative adjective, remember it should be preceded by the definite article the. The is always placed before the superlative adjective. After the superlative adjective, the preposition of and in are generally used. After now the superlative degree, we generally use the preposition of and in. They are generally used. Now the sentence formation in this degree, how can we form a sentence by using superlative degree? That is noun or pronoun, that means subject, then verb, means the action of the subject, then we need this definite article the, then superlative adjective, or sometimes it may require of or in, and at the end we have the object. This is how we can form a sentence by using the superlative adjective in it. Now see, here by this example you can now get to know. I told you positive degree, no comparison is made. It shows the mere existence of the quality of that thing or person or place which we are speaking about. Comparative degree is making comparison between two people. Two people, two ideas, two objects, two opinions, so on and so forth. Then superlative degree, comparative is higher. It shows the higher degree of that, higher degree of the quality which we are discussing. Superlative degree, comparison is made between more than two nouns or pronouns. It may include objects, ideas, anything else. And this is the superlative, highest degree of comparison. See, now the sentence is, Nana is tall. Nana is tall means the mere quality of Nana, that she is tall. Now we do not know how taller she is. Then comparative degree says, Nana is taller than Mehak. Comparison between two people, Nana and Mehak. We come to know Nana is tall, but she is more taller than Mehak. Now superlative degree, Nana is the tallest of all the sisters. Again we came to know Nana is tall, but now we came to know she is the tallest among all the sisters. When we say all, that means it is more than two. So we do not have comparison, no comparison is made. Comparison between two people, comparison between more than two people. It is more than two people. So this is how we can make the comparisons with the help of adjectives. Some other examples are given. Veer is patient. A person who has the power of tolerance, patience. The word has come from patience. Veer is patient. A quality of Veer. Veer is patient. We come to know about the quality, no comparison. Then Veer is more patient than Isha. Hey, Veer is patient, but more patient than Isha. Comparison of two people. Then Veer is the most patient child in the house. Now again we come to know Veer is patient, but now he is the most patient in the house. And in house there are obviously more people are living in a house. So comparison between more than two people. She is stylish. She is more stylish than Gita. And she is the most stylish. When we say she is the most stylish, it means most means among all. She is the most stylish. Vinita has a big farmhouse. We come to know about their existence, the quality of this farmhouse. It's big. But Vinita has a bigger farmhouse than Seema. Now here we come to know Vinita has a big farmhouse, but it's bigger than Seema's. Then Vinita has the biggest farmhouse. When I say Vinita has the biggest farmhouse, it's already understood that no other person has such a big farmhouse as Vinita possesses. Why? Because when we use the third form, it's already understood that there is no comparison above this now. It's the last degree, superlative degree. Then the suits in the shop are costly. The quality of these suits, they are costly. But the suits in this shop are costlier than other shop, than those in other shops. So now the comparison with this shop and other shops. So the suits, we come to know they are costlier but than the other shop. Then the suits in the shop are the costliest. When it is costliest, that means among all other shops, these suits are costliest. There is another example. You can go it by your own. Now, how can we make degrees of comparison? We can make degrees of comparison by adding ER and EST. Like, say, list of degrees of comparison by adding ER and EST. We have some adjectives like we have bright, black, bold, clever, cold, fast, great, high, kind. For these adjectives, we can add ER to make them comparative, like brighter, blacker, bolder, cleverer, colder, faster, greater, higher, kinder. Then brightest, EST, brightest, blackest, boldest, cleverest, the coldest, fastest, greatest, highest, kindest. So these are the adjectives where we can make the degrees of comparison by adding ER or by adding EST. Then list of degrees where we only require R or ST. Like we have brave here, so it requires only R, braver, and ST, bravest. Fine becomes finer and it becomes finest. The large, only R is required, larger, largest. Nice, only R is required, nicest. Noble, only R is required, noblest. Pale, only R is required, palest. Simple, R is required, and ST, simplest. Wise, R is required, and wisest. White, only R is required, and whitest. So this is another way. Now list of degrees of comparison by deleting the final Y and adding IR or IEST. These are the words where we can delete final Y and add IER for comparative degree and IEST for superlative. Please read the words first. Costly, dry, easy, happy, heavy, then lazy, merry, wealthy. These are the adjectives. Now for comparative degree, we omit Y. It becomes costlier. We add IR, costlier. Then drier, easier, happier, heavier, lazier, merrier, wealthier. And again IEST form, it will become costliest, driest, easiest, happiest, heaviest, laziest, merriest, wealthiest. Then we have another one, that is list of where we double the final consonants. Like we have big, dim, fat, hot, thin. There are more. So we are doubling the final consonant. Here you can see in all the words it's bigger, dimmer, fatter, thinner. And for the superlative degree again, we are doubling these. Biggest, dimmest, fattest, hottest, thinnest. Then there are some degrees of comparison where we use more and most. You will see, you may ask me a question. So why is this? Like for some adjectives you are using more, most. For some adjectives you are adding er, for some r, for some ier. For some adjectives you are doubling the consonant. There's only one thing which I can say, that English is a tricky language. It's a tricky language. There are tricky rules. So one has to abide by these rules. It's a tricky language. Its existence is like this. It's a borrowed language. Borrowed from different tribes, different cultures. You'll see there are a lot of words in English which are borrowed from other languages. So it is a tricky language. It goes like this. The rules are very arbitrary. There's not any constant rule. Like there is not any logical rule. So they are contrary. They are arbitrary rules are there. It seems sometimes as if they have been randomly picked up. So, but rules are rules. Once they are rules, we have to abide by them. Like we have a word, active, attractive, adjective, beautiful, brilliant, careful, courageous, cunning, difficult, famous, faithful. We are not saying activer and activist. We are not saying attractiver, beautifuler. Then what do we say? More active, more attractive, more beautiful, more brilliant, more careful, more courageous, more cunning, more difficult, more famous, more faithful. Same for the superlative degree. More becomes most, more active. This base adjective, it remains same. More, most active, most attractive, most beautiful, most brilliant, most careful, most courageous, most cunning, most difficult, most famous, most faithful. This is how we make these forms of degrees in the adjectives, in some different adjectives. Then we have some irregular comparison. There are some adjectives who do not have any predefined rules. When applying for their degree, as I told you, no, there are some things where rules cannot be applied. See, we have an adjective bad. It should be badder or baddest. Or it should be more bad, most bad. But no, it's worse and worst. Sir, which rule you have applied? I can say no rule. It's like this. There are some elements in the grammar where rules like they are put on the shelf. Good, not gooder and goodest, not more good and most good, but better and best. Far, farther, farthest, much, more, most. Old, no older, but elder, eldest. Little, no littler or more little. It's less and least. This will go on like this. It has to go like this because it's rule. You cannot change the rules. Change in degrees of comparison. Here more than two persons or places or things are compared. Matchless comparisons are of this type. When we are having some matchless comparisons, we can make those comparisons like this. See, when it is two or more than two things, obviously superlative degree is required, but here some exceptions are there. See, iron is the most useful of all metals. It's clear. When it is most useful, it means from all metals. Then iron is more useful than any other metal. We are using comparative degree. Comparative degree should be used with only two adjectives. But here, any other metal means all other metals. So this is, as I told you, here we are making some matchless comparisons. See now, positive degree. No other metal is so useful as iron. So useful. It's useful is the base form of adjective. Matchless comparisons. More than two persons are compared with all the three degrees. Another example, see. Tom is the cleverest of all the boys in the class. It's clear. This is easier to understand because when it is superlative degree, it is a comparison between two or more. Here the same comparison is made. But comparative is for two only. Now see, Tom is cleverer than any other boy in the class. When we say than any other boy, does it mean only one boy? It means all other boys. So this is another way of using adjectives. Like now we have the base form clever. No other boy in the class is so clever as Tom. So we use so before these sentences. You can check. No other boy in the class is so clever as Tom. So the base form is making comparison between two or more objectives. Rainwater is the purest water. Means among all waters, rainwater is purest. Rainwater is purer than any other water. Again, comparative degrees making comparison between other waters, many waters. No other water is so pure as rainwater. So base form is making comparison between more than two objects, two things, two nouns. Here, more than two persons or places or things are compared. Generally, this type is in plural form. Now I'll show you the plural form. Iron is the most useful of all metals. Iron is more useful than any other metal. No other metal is so useful as iron. So here, I went on with the same slide. Sorry for the confusion. Here, only two persons or places or things are compared. For this type, there is no superlative degree. Only two persons or places. So for two persons or places, as I told you, no superlative degree is used. Paris is hotter than England. It's clear to you. Now see, I'll show you positive degrees making comparison between two, and which is not the function of the positive degree. England is not so hot as Paris. England is not so hot as Paris. So I am telling you that the comparison between England and Paris, but without using the second form of adjective. Another, the Blue Mountain Express runs faster than the Green Express. Blue Mountain Express, name of a train, it runs faster. When it is faster, obviously it is comparison between two trains. Now see, the Green Express does not run so fast as the Blue Mountain Express. Comparison between two adjectives, comparison between two nouns with the help of only this simple form. So this is another way of using adjectives. So there are some contrasts. I would like you to go with it because time doesn't permit me to go in detail. So some important points to remember, which you can remember. The most important point is that the 3 degrees of adjectives are only used comparing adjectives or adverbs. Number one important point which you have to remember is all the 3 degrees of comparisons, all the 3 degrees of adjectives, they are used for comparing adjectives or adverbs. Second point, the positive degree of an adjective should not be used for making comparison. It should not be used for making comparisons, but we sometimes make comparisons in other form, as I showed. The comparative degree of an adjective is the basic form to compare only 2 noun qualities. Comparative degree is that degree which can make comparison only between 2 things, objectives, places, etc. Then the superlative degree of an adjective is used only when you want to present that one noun or pronoun as superior compared to all other nouns. So more than 2 nouns, pronouns, for the comparison we use superlative degree. The adjuncts that provide extra information about the verb should be retained. So when converting a sentence to a comparative or superlative degree of an adjective, we should remove the adjuncts which are providing extra information about the verb. See, never use comparative or superlative degrees twice in one sentence. We should not use comparative or superlative degree twice in a sentence. This is an incorrect use. These oranges are more juicer than those. More is more is comparative degree, juicer is also a comparative degree. So this is incorrect use. What is the correct use? These oranges are juicer than those. So by this single comparative degree, we come to know they are more juicer than others. It's important to keep in mind that some adjectives require the addition of to and not than. You need to keep in mind there are some adjectives which do not require than after adjective, but they require to. Like he is senior he is senior than him. When we speak he is senior than him, so it requires to. See, if we say he is senior than him, it's wrong. What is right? He is senior to him. Then the comparative and superlative degrees of comparison used in the same sentence should make complete sense. Comparative degrees and superlative degrees used in the same sentence, they should make some sense. Like, Neha is as intelligent, if not more so than her friend. It's incorrect. It should be like this. Neha is as intelligent, as if not more so than her friend. So we have both. We are talking about complex, comparative and superlative. Neha is as intelligent, as if not more so than her friend. So this requires some sort of modification. So I'll let you know. This requires some sort of modification. Then there are some takeaways which you can take with you after this class. Adjectives are words that describe nouns or pronouns and are used to convey descriptions and additional information. These are words that describe nouns or pronouns and are used to convey descriptions and additional information. The degrees of adjectives are used to compare the qualities of two or more nouns or pronouns. The usage of degrees of adjectives differs pertaining to number of syllables in the adjective. So the usage of their degrees, it depends upon the number of syllables used in this adjective. Like, only one syllable requires EREST for adjectives ending with E. The two syllable require adding IERIEST which end with I. Y. The three or more syllables require adding more and most before an adjective. So this is all about the adjectives. I hope you all have understood it well. So today we talked about adjective, we talked about the degrees of comparison, we talked about positive degree, comparative degree, we talked about superlative degree. Then I showed you how we can make these degrees. Then I talked about some rules, then I talked about what positive degree shows, what comparative degree shows, what superlative degree shows. So I showed you some exercises. So I hope you all have understood well. So if you require some extra information, you can consult these books. I would like to just stop here. Thank you. Thank you for listening carefully. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.